Everybody recommended him. I can give him the phone.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We have a little housekeeping we need to take care of before we start the regular meeting. As the notice is posted on the door, the official notice says we need to have a public hearing before we start the meeting. So I'm going to conduct the public hearing. I declare that public hearing now open, it being 7 o'clock, as previously authorized by the jury at our last month's meeting. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to make public comment on the jury's action to consider levying additional increased millage rates without further voter approval or adopting the adjusted millage rates after reassessment and rolling forward to rates not to exceed the prior year's maximum? Anybody have any public comments? Okay, seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. We can proceed with the regular meeting.
Thank you. Okay, we will proceed on with our regular scheduled meeting on this Tuesday night, August the 13th. But prior to Mr. Garriga leading us in invocation and pledge of allegiance, we have a new counsel over here that we want to introduce to everyone, Mr. James Buckley. Now, he might tell you he's from Farmerville or something along that line right there, but he is from Shiloh, is where he's from.
We call it the Bernie's Metroplex area.
But we welcome you as our counsel, and thank you for being here tonight. Okay, thank you, Chris.
Dear Lord, we thank you for allowing us to be here together today. We thank you for letting us come together and make decisions for our community, for our districts, and all our constituents live out there. Please be with us as we go through all of our business today and do the best we can to make everything a better day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank y'all for that, and I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. And there would be no opposed to that. Any public comments on the agenda item as they are printed from anyone? No one has spoken up, so we'll move on to the minutes of our prior meeting, which was on July the 9th, 2024. I need a motion that we accept those meetings as printed. Motion made and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. And no opposition to that. We had a Public Works Committee meeting at 6 o'clock, and Mr. Big Coach is going to give us a report on that.
First, report on the action taken on the bid for 2024 CIP hot mix overlay. Courtney, you want to?
Yes, sir. Under action on bids, the low bid of Amethyst Construction was recommended at a cost of $1,055,459.15. That was accepted. Next item was action on bids on the used six-wheel drive motor grader. We had one bid from Doggett Machinery Services in the amount of $231,300. That was also authorized. The next item was authorize the construction of a school bus turnaround on South Pine Tree Road in Grambling. That was authorized. There was presented a conditional plat approval of the Ruston Lincoln Realty LLC petition. That was approved conditionally. And then there was consider and take action if necessary submittal of capital outlay application for construction of Long Straw Road connection to Louisiana 146. And the committee voted to submit that application.
Okay.
Courtney, I did one question on the tractor. Do we have to pay that all at once, or do we get to do like
No,
a
it's just a
lump
lump
sum?
sum payment.
Do we have any comments? Okay.
You took the low bid, was that the low bid that met the specifications?
Yes, sir, it was.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Do we get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any nays? Okay.
Okay, so that committee report is passed, and now, so we go into board review. Item number 2 on this is convene board of review, set public hearing date September 10th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Mr. Hall, if you'll address that, please.
Okay, the assessment list will be open for public inspection for 15 days, from August 15th to August 29th, 2024. During this period, taxpayers should check the values on their property. If there is a disagreement and the taxpayer wishes to protest the value, the taxpayer must fill out a form titled Notice of Appeal Request for Board of Review and schedule an appearance before the Lincoln Parish Board will determine if any changes should be made to the assessment values in question. If either the assessor or taxpayer is not satisfied with the determination of the Board of Review, either may appeal to the Louisiana Tax Commission. The Louisiana Tax Commission will consider any and all appeals timely filed in hearings that are open to the public.
So now we need a motion to recess regular meeting and convene as property assessment board of review for tax assessment purposes for 2024.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Could I ask a question on that? So with the natural flow of things would be for the taxpayer, I've had a couple calls, would be the taxpayer to discuss the property with the assessor first, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
If they so choose.
And then
They
after.
could get some relief.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so they could go to the assessor first, right?
Right.
And if they're unsatisfied with that, then they come to the board of review, correct?
Correct.
And then if they're unsatisfied with that, then they go to the
Appeal
tax
to the tax commission.
But they have to have that filed by the 29th, correct?
the 15th through the
Fif-
what?
No, the books are open from the 15th to the 29th. The last day to file an appeal is September 3rd, which is the day after Labor Day. In other words, it has to be in our hands here in the office by 4:30 on the 3rd.
So the 15th to the 29th is the time where you guys try to talk to the tax assessor.
That's when the books are open, yes, sir.
Okay. And then, who has that form, that appeal form? We have it or the assessor has it?
The assessor should have some, it's on the internet, we can print some off.
Okay. Could you circulate those to the group?
Sure,
Perfect.
okay.
Any other question?
All right, so we're still convened as the board of review, so I need to read a little
Yep.
statement here. All right. Public hearings shall be convened as necessary within 10 days of the Board of Review's receipt of the certified assessment rolls for the purpose of considering the written or oral complaints of any person desiring to be heard who has timely filed reports as required by state law relative to assessment of real or personal property in Lincoln Parish, Louisiana for the year. So the public hearing will be held at 7 p.m. Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. That's our next regular police jury meeting.
Okay, now, we need a motion to recess 2024 Board of Review and reconvene regular session of Lincoln Parish Police.
So moved.
Motion made,
Second.
and it's seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. So now we move into, next item, which is item number 3? We just did that, right?
We just did.
Yeah, we're in new business, yeah, yeah.
We're on item 4, yes, sir.
Yep, okay. So, new business levy, the 2024 adjusted millage rates. So,
I'm gonna let Michael.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Courtney. Yours, public, if I could direct your attention to the screen. I'm gonna go through each page here and move along through the agenda items. So the first item on the agenda for new business is to levy the 2024 adjusted millage rates. And just for the sake of comparison, I have put on the left side here what 2023's millage rates are and the total tax collected from those rates. In 2024, obviously with reassessment, what the law requires, there's an adjusted rate to get that revenue as close as possible to the previous year's revenue. So the recommendation from administration here is to levy everything at the adjusted millage rate to start off with. But one thing you will notice, we may not actually see it, but bottom line, the library actually had an adjusted millage rate of 4.28, but our recommendation is to levy it at an even lower rate to be in line with a 10-year projection that we have forecasting for the library's operation. So this is our recommendation for levying the adjusted rates to start off with. Are there any questions at this point?
This is statutory required, right?
That's correct.
So, as well as it being a recommendation, it's your,
It
it's
is,
a
yes,
statutory requirement.
that is correct. The recommendation really comes with the library being levied at a lower rate.
Lower than the statutory required.
That's correct.
Okay. Are you gonna go into the,
Yes, when I get to the libraries
Okay.
portion, I will dive a little bit deeper into why that recommendation is where it is.
okay,
But, I figure just for the sake of adopting the adjusted millage rates as they are, we can start with that. And we'll-
so this is like a 2 or 3 part process?
That's right.
And what we're working on right now is the first step, correct?
That's
Okay.
The first step is to adopt those rates as adjusted, and then we'll go into each individual item to set forth whether or not we're gonna roll forward those
Okay.
items.
How much further, below the adjusted millage rate is the libraries right there?
About that $261,000 amount is
Okay.
pretty close to
Okay.
it. Because, I mean, obviously, all of them are a little bit off, but that's a good estimate. That's the biggest difference, is $260,000.
Okay.
We'll need to do a roll call vote.
Yep, so we'll have to do a roll call vote on this particular item, as we will on each one of these items.
Okay.
And so, so we'll need a motion and a second, then we'll vote by roll call. So would I hear a motion that, for item number 5 here, please?
4.
Oh, 4, I'm sorry, item number 4.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded, and
And this is just to approve the new rates, which got us as close. Clarify again exactly what we're voting on right here, just to make sure.
Yes, to get to adopt the adjusted millage rates, to get all those closer to the revenue from last year, minus, of course, the library, which my recommendation is to levy that at a much lower rate.
To cut it even
Right,
further.
right, okay.
So the 8.393 is what the jury brought in property taxes
Based on the
and
tax
library,
rate, correct.
based on the tax roll.
That's based on, these are based on.
And when we roll back, this would, at these rates, it would be $8.13 million,
Okay.
$261,000 less.
Okay.
Correct?
That's
With
correct.
this action, with this
With this
one,
action.
with this step. Okay.
Particular action here.
All right, we ready for the vote? Williams,
Yes.
Ludley,
Yes.
Lord,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Hunt,
Yes.
Scriber,
yes,
Pullen,
Yes.
Garriga,
Yes.
Henderson's absent, Melton,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
Strawder's absent. It passes unanimously.
Okay?
okay, item number 5.
You need to do it all.
I'll read the whole thing. It says, set forth the 2024 adjusted millage rate for general parish purposes, general alimony tax on all taxable property inside the corporate city limits of the city of Ruston, Louisiana, and roll forward to millage rate not exceeding the maximum authorized rate. Mr. Sutton?
Yes, so the first one is going to be our general alimony in, and I'll direct your attention to the screen. I've broken it out by line item just for clarification purposes to show what the positive effect of that would be if we were to adjust or roll forward the millage rate back to its max. So that, of course, is my recommendation for the general alimony in, is to roll it forward to its max, and that would be the difference from the action that was just taken to levy the 1.64. And that difference from that 1.64 to 1.68 is around $10,000. Any questions on that?
I know this is like a multi-step process,
Yeah.
but I would appreciate it if you got it zoomed out.
Absolutely.
And
I
kinda-
don't have a-
And we were kind of able to look at it,
Here, I'll start each one with that original singled out item and
Perfect.
come back to this one.
yeah, and then we can come back and
To
vote
give you
on
that
each
reference.
one, but let's walk through it if we can, if you don't mind, let's walk
Sure, you
through.
wanna walk through it all right now and come back?
That'd be helpful for me, I don't know about y'all.
Absolutely.
And that way, we know what we're looking at next before we even vote
Sure.
on that step
Yeah.
number 2, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So the general alimony in, obviously, our recommendation is to roll that one forward to its max. I mean, obviously, I think this goes without saying with all the added expenditures that we have in general fund as a whole, which goes in line with the general alimony out. And we're just trying to keep up with those expenditures, and that's why our recommendation is to roll that forward back to its max. Road maintenance and road construction, same story. I mean, we have expenditures that we're trying to keep up with, and so our recommendation is to roll that forward back to its max at 4.41 from the adjusted millage rate of 4.21 to bring us to a difference of around 110,000. obviously, these are treated the same, basically, so it's the same effect of around 110,000. And then, of course, the library, the adjusted millage rate based on the reassessed value would bring it to 4.28, where our recommendation is to bring that down to 3.80, which is a difference of around $264,000, basically, from the adjusted millage rate.
Negative 260.
That's correct. Negative, yes, so the net, and so basically, that brings us back to this amount here, or this page here that shows the effect as a whole of where these would end up based on the recommendation versus the adjusted millage rate.
But that didn't have, okay. Is that so that would be the final, the total of all of this?
Yes, 8,389, and
Okay.
just for a point of reference, I want to direct your attention to this.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was
This
trying to
gives
look
us
for.
a clear picture of where we are compared to last year, and you'll notice a net effect of a negative number. So with this plan and this recommendation of what we have, we're able to get our max where we really need it. And honestly, the library, getting them in line with where we feel like they need to be based on forecasting, and we're taking in less revenue for 2024 based on this recommendation than we were in 2023.
So the net effect to the taxpayer as a whole from the police jury and what we would be voting on is a negative 4,160.
Based on our revenue that we're bringing, it's a negative 4,000, and obviously the one that we levied at a lower rate, which is the library, is a parish-wide tax, so that would affect every taxpayer within the parish. Are there any questions in regards to this, any more questions in regards to this plan?
Y'all had some positive discussions with the library?
Yes, in fact, we have Ms. Jane Canterbury, president of the library board's here, and Jeremy Bowen, the library director's here. You want to say something at this
Sure.
point?
I'm just gonna say this, that I'm not here with any complaints, and I'm not here asking for any money for the budget, and that we appreciate what the police jury is doing, helping us. Our director, Mr. Bolam, has done an excellent job keeping the library under budget. We're doing well with that. And we appreciate Mr. Sutton, Courtney, Kevin for time they spent on the spreadsheets and looking at this. The people of the community should be happy about this. We're not taking away any services from the library. We're still wanting to serve, continuing with all our programs. I really appreciate Mr. Melton. He represents the police jury on the library board. He is a very faithful servant to the library board, and I appreciate him so much, always being there. So any questions that you would have or want to attend our library board meeting every third Thursday night, 5 o'clock at the library, you're welcome to come. But the library's doing well. We want to serve the community, and I think we're doing a good job with that. We want to be good servants. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Question?
Yes.
The negative figure that you are showing, does that, or how does that affect the audit?
It does not have, doesn't have any effect on the audit. This is just what we bring. We would basically, if this were adopted tonight, we would amend the budget to account for these changes of what we bring in and ad valorem taxes. So we wouldn't have any negative effects on the audit because we wouldn't have any variances at that point.
Okay, I was not necessarily looking for negative effects. I just wanted to know how it affects the audit. So you would go back, this body would go back and take money from Paul to pay Peter and even things up?
We would amend the budgets based on what action this jury takes to account for the revenue that's been adopted in this room, basically.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In amending the budget, where would those funds come from?
The funds, the revenue funds come from the taxes that we're collecting. So the only thing we're amending is the revenue line itself to reflect what we truly would be bringing in from the tax roll.
So there wouldn't be any line items or any of that kind of thing
Well,
affected with this?
No expenditure line items, only the revenue line item. The revenue line item is in line with what's on the tax roll. And so if the tax roll were to reflect what this body votes on tonight, that revenue line, only one line within each of these funds would be affected, and that would be amended to reflect what we'll be bringing in based on what this body adopts tonight.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we need, motion to accept item number 5. It'll be another roll call,
Make that
vote. We've got a motion made and a second, so roll call.
Question. The
Question?
vote is to vote for rolling these up. A yes vote rolls up, no vote rolls,
That's correct.
holds them at what we just voted at.
Yes.
Yes.
But this is,
We're only voting.
this is specific to the general alimony
General alimony.
tax.
So
Which
that's
is about a
First.
$10,000 increase.
to the 1.68.
Yeah.
That's all you're voting on right now.
Before we vote, I would like to say thank you to Michael and Courtney for just their hard work on this. This is not easy stuff, and I think a lot of us were surprised, taxpayers were surprised by some of the assessments, and I just appreciate y'all's hard work on this. This is good work.
Thank you.
All right? Williams.
Yes.
Ludley.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Cranford.
No.
Hunt.
Yes.
Scriber.
Yes.
Pullen.
Yes.
Garriga.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Okay. You have 9 yeas, 1 nay, so it passes.
Okay.
It's got to have a 2/3 majority to pass.
Yes, this is a different type of a vote where a majority does not rule. It has to be a 2/3 vote for this to pass, and this did pass. Line item number 6, set forth the 2024 adjusted millage for general parish purposes, general alimony tax on all taxable property outside the corporate city limits of the city of Ruston, Louisiana, and roll forward to millage rate not exceeding the maximum authorized rate. Mr. Sutton.
Yes, as the previous item, let me get the right mouse here, I apologize. General alimony out, hold on, that's wrong. Oh, yeah, that's right, let me go back to this. 3.28 is what y'all levied on item number 4. Recommendation is to roll that forward to 3.37.
Make the motion. Second.
Made and second. Roll call.
All right, Williams.
Yes.
Ludley.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Cranford.
No.
Hunt.
Yes.
Scriber.
Yes.
Pullen.
Yes.
Garriga.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Okay, it's 9-1 again, 2/3 majority, passes.
Okay. Line item number 7, set forth the 2024 adjusted millage rate for the maintenance and/or improvements of public roads and bridges throughout Lincoln Parish, Louisiana, and roll forward to millage rate not exceeding the maximum authorized rate.
Currently, we're levied at 4.21 based on item 4. Recommendation, roll forward to 4.41 to its max.
Question on that. What was the 24 revenue? It was 2,321,609, correct, in the budget? 2.319?
For last year,
Yep.
yep, 2,319.
What was the expenditures on that
So-
fund?
When I added up 2024's expenditures, we were about at 5.1 million. And even with the roll forward amount, we're at 4.8.
Okay, so you're saying combined road construction, road maintenance?
Yeah,
Right.
I treat those together from
Sure.
a standpoint of a budgetary standpoint, because typically when we have a purchase
Okay.
and even
We just
payroll, all
split it.
that's split 50/50.
Okay, so say that number again for,
Yeah, so
4.6.
2024's estimate for budget for expenditures was 5.1.
right,
And even if you roll forward, adding those together, we're at 4.8, so we're still gonna be
4.86,
showing a deficit.
of how much, I bet roughly?
About $300,000.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Just for illustrative purposes, I would ask, how much roughly are the materials up? Like gravel, asphalt, that kind of stuff, just general? Are we talking,
Double.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, at least double, yeah.
I mean, you saw the lease on the tractor, the previous meeting was double and leasing that. And I want, everybody, I was not educated enough about our road department, but we don't operate just to cut grass, throw some rock out. We technically operate a small highway construction company, that if we had the talent we had and the equipment we had, we'd be making, you know,
In the private sector.
the private sector, there's a chance with the talent and the construction, the equipment we have, we could really, you know, make some money on those. So we operate not just cutting grass, throwing rock in some holes and doing some things. I mean, these guys are talented enough to actually build stuff and you know, do things some municipalities don't have the capability of doing with the equipment, let alone the talent. So I've learned more about what Tom and the guys do down there in the last 30 days than I ever knew living in this parish. So, you know, my hat's off to what these guys do with the, you know, the budget they have. So, you know, when people were asking me about, that was one of the main funds that, you know, we have to maintain, I think, at some point, or we will have to look at services at some point.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bruce.
Very good point.
Yeah, some of these things are hard to tangibly show, but hats off to Jerry Lynn as well for putting together. I have a cost analysis that we're still working on right now to kind of paint a picture of how things have changed, but just to pick out two simple ones because they're one-time purchases. We had a dump truck that we purchased in 2017 for $87,000. In 2022, that same dump truck, the same specs, was $184,000, almost $100,000 more. And then we bought a tractor in, an excavator. We bought an excavator in 2016 for $65,000. That same spec in 2021 was $102,000. So double. You know, those are just simple examples that we can articulate at this point of how things have changed from an expenditure standpoint over the years.
Thank you. So, question? Yes, sir.
How do you arrive at the millage rate and you are adjusting, and what is the maximum millage rate? Are all of them the same in those categories?
So the maximum millage rate is a rate that was levied back whenever it was on the ballot by the people. And I can't speak to how they came to that millage rate at that time. I'm sure calculations were done. But that 4.41, for example, on the road funds has been in existence probably since the 70s, was our understanding. It's just always either been rolled back prior to the year before a reassessment, and then rolled forward to its max of 4.41 the year prior to reassessment, so it never went down below 4.41.
So 4.41 was on the ballot, what you're saying,
Yeah, that's
in the
correct.
70s.
Yeah,
That's
whenever-
what-
Yeah, but it's a 10-year renewal, so it's gotta be voted on by the public every 10 years.
Every 10 years.
Yeah.
At 4.41. that's what
We
it
kept
is.
it at 4.41 every 10 years, and we never surpassed that. Now, the adjusted millage rate is established by the assessor. So when the assessor reassesses the property values, he has a formula where he comes up with the adjusted millage rate. We don't come up with the adjusted millage rate, that's what he gives us. And then we then determine what we want to do with that rate from there, which is keep it as it is, go lower, or roll forward to the prior year maximum.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Question. You all indicated here that the millage rate was for the, maintenance and, improvement of public roads and bridges. That bridge on, 149, I mean, do you consider that as being, improved by the new, TA station?
149 is a state road, we don't have jurisdiction over that.
The bridges, not,
If it's a bridge on a state facility, no, sir, we don't.
okay.
And that's one thing I will say, I learned being sitting here is we have a lot of state highways that we can't even run a weed eater on legally. You know, so that I didn't realize how many state highways we actually have in our parish that we take a blunt for, you know, for not being something wrong with it, but we can't even touch anything on it. That's correct, Courtney?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't even, if you have a flooding problem, we can't go there with a shovel and try to fix it for you.
I think all we can do is draft a resolution and pass a resolution asking DOTD to make it a priority, essentially, is what we can do.
I mean, we could do that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, according to the numbers up there, last year's millage rate for road construction and road maintenance was 4.21.
No,
No.
No, sir, last year's was
4.41.
was 4.41. The one that we're just looking at here
That's what we
was the
just
adjusted
rolled it back
millage rate for this
That's
year.
what we should lower it back.
5 minutes ago, we rolled it back to
Roll that.
4.21.
Then what is this proposed 4.4?
That's the roll.
Rolling it back forward to the original voted on
Maximum
millage.
amount.
But then, does that take into consideration the 10 to 15% increase in the assessed value that the parish is gonna receive?
Say that one more time.
Is that gonna take into consideration? According to what I'm hearing from the parish assessors, you know, that, you know, if there's gonna be a 10 to 15% increase in assessed value in the parish.
That's correct.
So is this roll forward taking that into consideration also?
We've offset it with the plan that Courtney and Michael have set forth. We're offsetting that increase with a decrease from the library millage. So we're offsetting the increase of the road and general alimony increases with a decrease from the library. So it's gonna be a zero net increase to the taxpayer from, as far as the police jury is concerned. I can't speak for the school.
So therefore, we're gonna take in 4,164 less than we did last year.
Goes to the library.
So if we take in less, we pay less taxes.
And so she said that the library's fine with that reduction?
Yes.
Yes.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear a motion for item number 7?
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and second, Bart, roll call.
Williams.
Yes.
Ludley.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Cranford.
No.
Hunt.
Yes.
Scriber.
Yes.
Pullen.
Yes.
Garriga.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Okay, once again, it passes 9-1.
Item number 8, set forth the 2024 adjusted millage rate for the construction, improvement, and/or hard surfacing of public roads and bridges throughout Lincoln Parish, Louisiana, and roll forward to millage rate not exceeding the maximum authorized rate.
Same thing here. We are currently at 4.21 now after first action recommendation, roll forward to 4.41.
Make that motion, 4.41.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded. Roll call.
Williams.
Yes.
Ludley.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Cranford.
No.
Hunt.
Yes.
Scriber.
Yes.
Pullen.
Yes.
Garriga.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
It passes 9-1.
Item number 9, set forth the 2024 adjusted millage rate for the purpose of operating, maintaining, constructing, and supporting a public library and its branches in Lincoln Parish, Louisiana, and roll forward to millage rate not exceeding the maximum authorized rate. Mr. Sutton.
So we levied 3.8 mills on this one already. We did not adopt the 4.28, which was recommended by the assessor based on the reassessment. So there has to be a motion and a second on the floor for this to be voted down. I mean, you can't get to a vote without a motion and a second. But I think the record needs to show that if anybody motions and seconds this, that does not mean they're in support of it, they can still vote no. But to put it to rest, if you agree with the recommendation, that is, we would have to put it to a vote for it to be rejected.
So we're rejecting rolling it forward?
That's correct. We would-
So your yes vote would reject rolling it forward?
No, a yes vote would be to roll it forward. A no vote would be
To leave it at
to leave it at 3.8.
So if you agree with a 3.80, you should vote no.
So the recommendation from the administrative staff is to vote no.
Yes. Correct. I make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Williams.
No.
Ludley.
No.
Lord.
No.
Cranford.
No.
Hunt.
No.
Scriber.
No.
Pullen.
No.
Garriga.
No.
Melton.
No.
Richards.
No.
Okay, it's unanimous. 10 votes.
Okay. Any other comments about that? We'll move on to item, that concludes that part of
Yeah,
it.
you don't have anything else?
You don't have anything else to add
No,
to it?
no, sir, no. Thank
Okay.
y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good work. Appreciate you. Item number 10, authorized participation in National Covert Opioid Settlement and authorize parish administrator to execute necessary documents.
Okay, some of you old timers are familiar with the previous opioid settlement suits that we were involved with. There was one, I can't remember the name of the pharmaceutical company, and then there was a, yeah, and then Walgreens, I think, was second. Well, now Kroger's gotten involved, so since we were engaged in the original suits, we have the opportunity to kind of coattail on these additional ones as they're filed. So the recommendation would be, I don't know how much money we stand to gain from doing this, but if you don't go ahead and enter into the litigation, you know, you don't have any chance to recoup money.
So this is Kroger, the grocery
The
store.
grocery store,
is a-
their pharmacy portion.
Is a new defendant in that case.
Is a new defendant.
Okay,
And
we
they
would
just-
still be the
They
plaintiff.
just popped up here.
Class action plaintiffs, if you will.
Right,
Okay.
right, so.
And no, at no cost to us. No
Yeah,
out-of-pocket cost.
absolutely no cost. In fact, we're already accruing some funds from the original.
From the rental set.
How much are we getting?
I make a motion that we authorize,
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna make a motion that we authorize, the administrator execute anything.
Motion made and seconded. Any question or comment? Because we have a question.
I just wanna know how much have we been receiving from them?
We're at, I think, around $400,000 at this point, since it started.
And you have to use those funds specifically,
Yes, sir.
very specifically, right?
That's correct.
Opioid remediation.
Remediation.
Now, we've had some preliminary discussions with the judge's office. We haven't come up with a definitive plan at this point, but we have several options we're exploring to present to you at budget time, so we can start kind of, you know, putting this money where it's gonna do the most
So
good.
we have yet to spend any of it, really.
Right.
Okay.
Right. We thought that we would give the judge's office the first opportunity at the money through the drug court, but they're still working a plan
Okay.
that they have yet to present to us. Another option is the Northeast Delta Human Services Authority, which is kind of a regional deal that we're part of, but, you know, they have a lot of opioid remediation too, so. We'll have more information at the budget time.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comment before we vote? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There is none, unanimous.
Courtney, could that be used, I'm sorry, could that be used to give law enforcement, like, Narcan and things like that, so they run
I
into?
believe it can.
So if they run into that, they all could have Narcan in their units or in certain areas or
Yeah,
something
we'll,
like that?
we'll confirm that, but any type of opioid remediation or abatement or treatment.
Treatment, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good to have all the, I mean.
That's a good point.
You can save a life real
Right.
quick like that.
Item number 11, authorized resolution engaging David M. Hart CPA to prepare and submit letter of intent and RFQ for professional services related to EPA emerging contaminants grant on behalf of the Mount Olive Water System.
Okay, we've been having some meetings with the Mount Olive Water System Board, and they have some concerns, you know, with that system that they would like to have addressed, and so we've been looking for the best grant source funding to go after to remediate some of those issues. And so what has come to our attention is the Environmental Protection Agency has what they call an Emerging Contaminants Grant. Louisiana has been given, or has $28 million has been made available in Louisiana through that grant for these various water systems to apply for. And in order to have like the professional services, which would be engineering, paid for by the grant, you have to go through the procurement process. And so that's part of what you're authorizing us to do. Of course, the others submit a letter of intent because, you know, they'll review your information and then invite you to submit a full application. So this is kind of a double role that we're trying to accomplish here tonight. So there's no, you know, there's no bonding, there's no match with this. It's the best fit that you can have. I know Mr. Ponton, who's the president of the Mount Olive Waterworks District, is here. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you, President Schwartz, for allowing us to come to the jury meeting, thank the jury members. I would like to acknowledge two of my left and right side of my brain, I should say. She's actually my right side of my brain. Ms. Merck, she's not here, that's the left side, he's the body. So you can stand up and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Sharon Ellis, and I'm the office manager at Mount Olive Water.
Oscar Epps, and I'm the operator from the system.
He's a slash.
Yeah.
He has. I would also like to thank, I don't see her here, Ms. Laura Hart. Courtney, thank you guys for what you've been doing behind the scenes to help us get to this point. President Schreiber, and Big Coach. I say Big Coach with much affection, because where I'm from, coaches are well-loved, honored, and respected, probably more so than lawyers, doctors, and some ministers. So, I say Big Coach. So I'd just like to say thank you guys for having us here today. Courtney, thank you guys for behind the scenes helping us to get to this point, and we really appreciate the board's support on this.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm David Ponton, I don't know. Coach,
I'm sorry. But anyway, you know, the money will go to the Mount Olive water system, but it'll flow through the jury. We've done a lot of grants like this, so it's not out of the ordinary.
And I think we can solve all the water problems out there with this amount, I think.
The good thing about the emerging contaminants grants is 51% of the grant has to be used for those emerging contaminants, but that leaves 49% to get other things done. So this is gonna be a really good thing.
Well, do we know what the grant floor and ceiling awards are? I mean, pretty significant.
I know that
monies.
there have been a couple out there. They're usually one system. I think Celine got a grant for $1 million.
Oh, wow.
And where was the other one that got like $2 million? I can't remember. There was
Yeah,
another
so these are
another entity that
significant-
got.
Significant
That's
grant.
the one, that's the one we trying to get to 2 million.
It's also interesting too, I think it was last week, I showed Michael in the paper that the city of Shreveport has an emerging contaminant big problem.
Yeah, they have a huge problem in Shreveport.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something that EPA is trying to get on top of. They're really behind the curve. But you know, it's the manganese, the iron in the water. You know, it's still, it's fit to drink, but it's not, you know, palatable to the eye when it comes out your faucet, you know, for sure. So, those are some things that can be worked on too.
I'll make a motion that we,
I have a question, just real quick, it's not, kind of off the water district. Where are we at on, I know Kit been working on generators on all the water districts. Are we, half of them have them, or where are we at just on that?
We have got, we just completed Simsboro, they just got their last reimbursement, so we're moving to close out the what we call the 2018 generator project. The 2023 generator project was submitted last October, and I think we had 6 or 7 different water systems, municipalities involved in that, waiting on FEMA approval.
So do we know, like, are we 3 or 4 are fully generated and rest of them are, we have some of them coming? Like, just curious where we're at on.
Pretty much. I mean, like Simsburg put in for some more generators for a new water well they put in last year. And, because the money on this particular generator project is what we call Hurricane Ida money, and it's a 90-10 split on that money, so.
but we have no system without a generator, I believe.
No, we have, all of our generators, I mean, systems have generators
Yeah.
now. Mount Olive has experienced in generator issues, but they're working on that as well.
So every system we have now has a generator?
Yep.
And we still have mobile. We still
Some of them didn't do, well, I take that back. No, I'm wrong. It's not. But we have a mobile generator that can support the Henry Road well at Dubach, and we have a transfer switch at the Marie Street well in Grambling that generator can support too. So,
You pull up and hook into it.
you know, yeah.
In good shape.
Is it, thanks, good.
You got a motion, no second?
Okay, we have a motion but no second. We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item number 12, authorize nominee to Sparta Groundwater Commission, Mr. Milton. Melton nominee.
Okay, that's a 3-year term. Mr. Melton has been on that for the past 3 years. All you're doing tonight is making the nomination. It's actually appointed by the governor. So what we'll do, if you sign off on this, and I'll draft a letter, send it to the governor, and he'll make the actual appointment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second. Any comments, questions, about anything? Everybody
Thank you.
understood?
That's a thankless job. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Of course, there would be none.
We ain't gonna change nothing to go.
Yeah, that's right. Number 13, introduction of ordinance for sale adjudicated property parcel number 301830000067.
Okay, this is just an introduction, so there's no action necessary.
Correct. 123 Church Street in Grambling, District 2. It's a half an acre public auction. It's gonna be, the minimum bid will be $2,079, $2,079.46. And it's right there south of the Robert B. Hall, Robert B. Knott Hall, sorry. It's on the screen if you wanna look at it. And look at it.
Any questions on that one?
Anybody have a question about this?
This isn't a lot next door program, right? This
Yeah,
is
this
just
is
a,
auction.
just auction, okay.
So no action necessary
Right.
on this particular item, and we'll move to number 14, same type of thing, introduction ordinance for sale of adjudicated property parcel number 15203882136. Same type of deal, I'm assuming, Kevin?
Yes, sir, it's also gonna be, it's gonna be another auction. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to my page here. There's no address, it's kinda right in the middle of the street, you can kinda see it on the screen, it's smack in the middle of the street on Drake Road. Police Street, District 4, 0.09 acres, public auction, minimum bid is $960. It's really kinda like, more or less, our road and right of way. So it's, I'm not sure what they wanted, but.
Yeah, we don't own any right of way.
Correct.
We just have easements.
Access to the right of way.
Yep.
Is that part of the old railroad right away?
I do not believe so.
Item number 15, introduction of ordinance for sale of adjudicated property parcel number 15203772001. Kevin?
Yes, sir, another auction. It's gonna be, again, no address. Let me pull the screen here. It's right, close to the last one. This is the one that's off of Drake Road. That's right there, and then this is the one it's right on the other side of a different piece of property. It's 2 acres this time. And the minimum bid is $5,113.33. And these are all introductions.
How much is the minimum on that?
$5,133.33. But we actually did a little bit different, we're doing the introductions right now. Spoke to the lawyer, the people that were trying to do the stuff, we already did, we've actually already done the auctions. We just have to introduce it, or whatever, we actually introduce it, but we've already done the auctions, there was one bidder on each one. So we're just gonna end up proving on that, so. But we talked to the lawyer, they said that they did all the legal requirements for advertising in the paper and everything, so it's all legit.
Pretty much all done.
It's pretty much all
Except
done.
for the introduction and adoption. And just for point of clarification, you know, a Lawrence Act community like a city, they have to introduce an ordinance and they can't adopt it for 30 days till they have a public hearing. A police jury is a different creature. We can introduce and adopt the same night. We don't even have to introduce, we can adopt. So if at some point you see an ordinance on the agenda and somebody argues, well, you didn't, you know, have a public hearing or you didn't introduce it, we don't have to as a police jury.
But we're choosing to do so,
We're
right?
choosing just
Yeah.
out of the abundance.
So we're just introducing this month, and then later we would adopt it next month?
That's correct.
So if an issue came up, like say we had family members come out the woodwork and be like, please don't sell my property, anything else, that's when we can sit there and you can deny it. Like next month, you don't have to approve it.
You don't have to approve.
We don't have to approve it, but we're giving notice essentially here that this is what's happening.
If nobody comes up on this property in 30 days, then whatever the bid is.
Then next month, we'll recommend that we award to the person who was the high bidder at that property.
And you adopt the ordinance.
Correct.
Gotcha. Just figure it out.
There was only one change, there was like, I think, it was $1 more.
And then don't
Didn't-
redeem, 3 years to redeem.
I couldn't hear what he said on the one in ground.
The one in Grambling, the bid, there was only a single bidder, but just be careful, he said $1 more than the minimum bid, so it's $1 more than the minimum bid.
Okay, move into a budget report. Mr. Sutton, you've had a lot to say tonight, and we're gonna give you an opportunity to talk about your real job now.
Thank you, Mike, one more time. Here you have in front of you all budget actual for all major funds for the month of July. I do apologize, page 1 and 2, general fund did not print my line numbers, so just bear with me, I'll speak to it out loud for the general fund. It's only 2 items. Professional services, which I've been bringing up for prior months, but just to make you aware of it as it continues to grow. The majority of this is for Health Hub, professional services, being design and engineering. We've already spent about $240,000 in that line just for that alone, which we're on the the tail end of, so obviously that will subside at some point soon. Hopefully by next year, we'll have much more of a grasp on that line as a whole. Moving down about a quarter of the way down the page, there's a line for animal control, and I'm gonna speak to it in case you can't find it. We budgeted 15,000 in that line. We've already spent a little over 10, but it's no secret, we've hired an animal control officer, and I do believe we've all discussed internally that we wanna put all that in one place so we can really keep up with those expenditures, identify them, and give ourselves the best information we possibly can for next year's budget year. So we're really putting all that in one place just to really get a good grasp and understanding of what it would take to operate that particular line. But obviously, that original 15,000 was really budgeted for just taking animals to the shelter and those fees that correspond with that. Moving on to page 4, we're gonna look at road construction and road maintenance together as usual. The only item of note there is lines 86 and 105, and improvements and development. As you'll recall, I believe it was last month or the month before, this body had agreed to authorize drainage work to be done in Plantation Hill subdivision for around $30,000. That was definitely unexpected and not budgeted for, so we'll have to amend that at the proper time. Other than that, that is all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. This is just a report, no action necessary on that, but once again, Michael, we just really appreciate the work that you've done on all of this. It's just above and beyond, as well as the rest of the staff do. So thank y'all once again for putting all this together. We really appreciate that very, very much. Other business, anything?
All right, reports. We have Christina Bourgeois from, did I get that right tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with LSU Ag.
So we appreciate the time tonight. We were asked to come and give you some programming updates. And not sure if everyone actually is aware, but we have a full team at this point in time at the LSU Ag Center office. And I brought them all with me tonight. I'm being careful of your time as well as our own, told them they have only 2 minutes to speak to you. So we're going to start with the face of our office. The first person, if you call our office or you walk up to our office, the first person you're going to see is Miss Melissa. She probably has nothing really to tell you, but Miss Melissa is our administrative coordinator. She is the one that keeps us in line. She takes care of all of our office and correspondence, and she's that person who, if we didn't have her, we'd be lost. So this is Miss Melissa. And then some of you have possibly already met our new agents. We have 2 new agents who have recently started. In the spring, we brought on Madison Horn. We call her Maddie. Maddie is what we call our NCH agent. That's our Nutrition and Community Health. And so I'm going to give Maddie her 2 minutes or less. Go ahead, Maddie.
I'm a Tech alumni, so I was here for a little while, moved away, went to grad school, came back. Very excited to be part of the Ag Center. My whole goal throughout all my school was to make nutrition education more accessible to the general public. So I found that the Ag Center is perfectly equipped to let me do that. A couple things I've already been trying to do in Lincoln Parish. I've had some programming at different senior groups with the CCC here in Lincoln Parish and in Bienville Parish. And then I've also met at St. Thomas Aquinas. And then I just most recently did a nutrition education cooking class at the Drew Jones Teaching Kitchen at the Ruston Farmers Market. So I'm here to do programming for the people of Lincoln Parish. I love food, I love people, so this is my avenue to kind of get those things going. So I'm excited to work with you guys and hopefully work with you soon. I want to talk to you after. So yes, I'm still getting my feelers out there. Kathy Judd is my predecessor. I'm sure some of y'all know who that was. She had a lot of contacts, and I'm still working through that address book. So you give me a minute, and I'm trying to reach all corners of the parish. So very thankful to be here. Thank you guys.
So Maddie is a recent hire for us. She's been here since the spring, and she has really been getting up and going. Our second new hire is our what we call our A&R agent, our Ags and Natural Resources. This is Kylie Bass. Kylie is our new A&R agent, and she just started. She's only been with us a month and a half. And so she's really new to our group, new to our team, and Kylie, give them get 2 minutes.
My name is Kylie Bass. I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, so this is home for me and I love it. I was also Tech alumni and I'm a grad student there currently, and because I don't ever want to leave Ruston or this area ever. I am the A&R agent, so I do livestock and horticulture, so anything that I can develop or sell in, I'll be more than happy to, because people plant some livestock or where's that for me. We have already been having multiple meetings with the Lincoln livestock people to get them, and Angela Vannig over there, she's a little gem, and so she helps a lot getting everything well versed. Me and Maddie were together for an event with the PCSS, and so we had a food and nutrition event. And so she taught them how to make an affordable meal, and I told them that they could grow it in their backyard. And so that was really fun for us to start getting my toes wet and everything. But if there's anything that I could ever do for y'all, plant questions, livestock questions, I'd be more than happy to help. That's just what I love to talk about. So, well, thank y'all for everything.
And Kylie has been making home visits across the parish.
Yes,
with lots of different people. So we get a lot of calls about gardens. We get a lot of calls about brown spots in the yard. Water, I got water going through my yard and I don't know what to do about it. So Kylie is that person. We have some great mentors working with her, and so we are getting out and we are seeing people about those situations here in Lincoln Parish. And then last but definitely not least, she's already handed you the jurors some information. Most of you know Miss Amanda Simmons, our 4-H, she's our youth development agent here in Lincoln Parish. And she has got some bright stars, some things going on here recently in Lincoln Parish.
Well, guys, y'all probably know from experience that when it comes to 4-H youth development here in Lincoln Parish, I have a lot to say. So
but I told her 2 minutes.
To stay under 2 minutes. So I'm going to probably read through this really quick. So y'all better, hold on and keep up. But there are really some great things going on with Lincoln Parish 4-H. This year we are getting in the game. Joining 4-H, it's life-changing. That's kind of our go-to slogan this year. And we're going to be using a lesson study about life skills this year, which are those daily things that those kiddos can use to really learn to manage their daily lives. And so something they will use for a lifetime. So the mission of 4-H is to provide meaningful opportunities for all youth and adults to work together to create sustainable community change. This is accomplished within 3 primary content areas and mission areas: civic engagement and leadership, healthy living, and science. So that's kind of our mission I wanted y'all to know about. So for our 4-H clubs for 24-25, we will have 17 school 4-H clubs and 1 homeschool members at large club for grades 4 through 12. We have 5 4-H volunteer-led project clubs. That's our archery shooting sports club, rifle shooting sports club, air rifle shooting sports club, hunting skills shooting sports club, and a 4-H discovery club focusing on arts and healthy living in collaboration with the Ross Lynn Charitable Foundation. We also have 2 Lincoln Parish 4-H leadership project clubs. We have our junior leadership club that reaches 7th through 12th, and we have our Quest leadership club that's 6th grade. All 4-H have had the opportunity to participate in a wide variety of events, activities, and competitions and service projects and leadership roles through Lincoln Parish 4-H. Some recent and upcoming examples are we had over 200 kiddos participate in our 4-H Achievement Day out at the Expo Center, where we focused on growing Louisiana agriculture. And we did awards and recognition out there for them. We had 4-H summer camp where we had 45 total people attend. 39 of those were campers. We had 3 adult volunteers and 2 junior counselors that attended 4-H summer camp. Life-changing. 4-H Outdoor Skills Adventures Summer Day Camp. We had 13 youth participate in our summer day camp out at the Lincoln Parish Park. Thank you very much that we get to use that wonderful park. We had a canoe instructor come over from Shreveport. He was very impressed. He had not been out there before. He was just flabbergasted at how wonderful that park is. But we had canoeing. We had outdoor cooking with Maddie. We had photography projects, photography walk with the Ross Lynn Foundation, and the kiddos absolutely loved it. We did have 1 youth go through a selection process and was selected to attend march maneuvers in Intracoastal City, Louisiana, and life-changing. Got to ride the airboat and learned about some important coastal conservation. Got to skin an alligator and learn about aquaculture and the importance of it to Louisiana economy. And did some Gulf marsh fishing and crabbing and cooked what they ate, and then also dined at some local seafood restaurants. So wonderful trip for 5 days down there. We awarded $600 in 4-H scholarships to deserving Lincoln Parish 4-H team. I've teamed up with NCH and Ag on a Nutrition for Knowledge food pantry at Duboc School that we have going on out there. I gave you a handout on that. We're collecting food to equip that pantry for this food scarcity with that community for those kiddos there. Shooting sports should kick off in September to start practicing for regional, state, and national competition. Big thank you to the police jury for the use of the property for air rifle to practice. Also for the property for our archery. Those instructors have been working on that property to get it ready for practice. They have brought in 4 loads of rock, still needing a couple of loads of rock. Y'all know of anywhere we might find some rock. We need a couple more loads out there, and that would fill that need. We do have coming up, we have pet show, Lego contest, gingerbread house building contest, we have the dance, we have workshops, all kinds of things that those kiddos can be involved in to learn those life skills. As far as community outreach, I have been present at every prep day with the school system. So we've been on the prep day tour this past couple of weeks to have a presence there with our 4-H table. We're going to be presenting, I presented School Enrichment, Health Rocks, which is a substance abuse prevention curriculum to 3rd through 8th grade PE teachers with the Lincoln Parish Schools District-wide Professional Development Day this morning. So we've got 8 teachers that are signed up to provide that curriculum to their students this year through the Ag Center and through 4-H. Collaborating with the library, with the team director there, providing some life skills programming once a month this year. We will have a booth out at Lincoln Parish Park Heart Fest. Thank you, police jury, for waiving that fee for us to be able to reach the public with that Heart Fest booth that we'll have. And we will be I will be collaborating with the 8th grade Louisiana history teacher out at Cedar Creek to provide a program for Louisiana environment with hunting and fishing. We've done archery programming there in the past with her history classes on medieval time, in the medieval time period. And then me, Maddie and Kylie are collaborating with the Ross Lynn Charitable Foundation with school gardens out at Lincoln Prep School for horticulture, nutrition, and life skills. So a lot going on with your youth in Lincoln Parish. You should be proud.
Thank you.
So this is our team. I did ask them to all bring business cards if you have one of them that you want to get in touch with. If you have a project going on that you're looking at that you need youth involvement, Amanda's a great resource for helping you locate some youth involvement. If you have something going on that you need some nutrition advice or ag advice, we have Maddie and Kylie there. Again, my name is Christina Bourgeois. I'm the parish chair for Lincoln Parish, so I'm the administrator for Lincoln Parish. I'm always available for questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find the person that does. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Gary, do you have anything to update us on?
No.
Burner's working good, right? The burner's working good?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
problem.
All right, Alex, you got a report?
Yeah, I got a small one this
Three.
time. I didn't make a PowerPoint this time due to the internet outage of Lincoln Parish today.
Thank God.
But there's no snakes for you. So I just want to give you a little update. This past month we've caught approximately 30 dogs. So about the same as last month, but calls are slowly starting to die down a little bit to level out to actually, instead of getting 50 to 100 a day, we're finally starting to only get about 10 to 15 to something manageable for one person. And then this past month, we've actually caught 10 cats. So that's really good considering most of the time they're feral and we can't even catch them, but the 10 that we have caught have actually gotten homes already. And then we're proud to say that we're actually working very well with the Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Office, and we've dealt with 6 bite dogs and 3 cruelty cases so far that they've actually been super helpful on. And anytime I need them, I call them. They're there, no questions asked.
good.
And then the only other thing is we've dealt with 6 wildlife calls, and that was dealing with 2 pigs. One was in Simsboro, one was in Vienna, 3 deer, and 1 wood duck. So that's it. Unless any of y'all have any
So
questions.
we don't have any more dogs at the trash bin, we're not, dogs are cats, we're not catching any more of that.
Well, those are, the calls are still coming in, so it's just.
Okay.
But I can also add that this past month, I actually got sent down to Alexandria to the Lack of Control Conference, which is the whole Louisiana Animal Control Association. And I got 5 different certifications while I was down there. So-
Good, congrats.
So now I've got about 4 more certifications left to go, and then I'll be ready to go for anything and everything, so.
Appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, thank you.
Maurice, do you have anything?
You got all kind of dogs in here. I don't care.
We currently have about
Bad dogs.
6.6 miles of gravity sewer main. So we go out and we have what's called a sewer jetter. So we purchased that sewer jetter back in May of 2019. So I'm gonna give y'all a little something to shout about. So back since purchasing, we have not had an SSO since purchasing that sewer jetter, which is SSO is sanitary sewer overflow. So none of our sewer lines have overflowed due to a blockage, grease, you know, anything of that nature. So y'all pat yourselves on the back. That was 50,000 well spent.
Pat you on the back.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Maurice. Good job, Maurice.
Thank you, Maurice.
Thank you, Maurice.
You got anything?
I'm good.
Kip, you've already reported, and Angela?
When's the sewer? Start building?
Talking about the pig show?
Yeah, if y'all hadn't looked on the Lincoln Parish Police Jury Facebook page, y'all do so. Y'all have a great guy, Estevan, that comes and videographer. And he made us a nice video of the show, it was called, SEAUX, this past weekend. We had it last year, we had approximately 231 entries. This time it was 331 entries. So all the pins and things that we purchased over the last couple of years, we actually overflowed with them, and we had to have some that were showed out of the trailer. We had so many there. We did not have enough pins. We sold out. So that was quite a blessing. And we have a lot of big events coming up. So if y'all want to come by and check out the things that we have coming up, we have a St. Jude's Rodeo this weekend. We have a little Deep South Little Britches Rodeo the next. We have the Run for the Diamonds, which was our first of event that we ever had back in 2000 when we opened. And then we have, later on in September, we have something called the Louisiana Showcase. And we expect a big crowd. That is a livestock show. On the first weekend, we'll have dairy, cattle, goats, and sheep. And on the second weekend, on the 28th, we will have another beef cattle show and a hog show that night. So y'all make your way out there to come and visit us sometimes. It is a great place, and I still think we're a hidden treasure. And I couldn't do it without the help of the other parts of the parish. I would just like to recognize Carrie, who comes by and does the trash, and Tom and his crew, who always are instrumental in giving me a hand over there and doing so much. And they are such a blessing to the expo, and I want y'all to know that. And Mr. Courtney even came out, and Miss Jerry, and attended the hog show this weekend. Thank you very much.
And if you didn't go out to that hog show, because I had not talked to them, and I expected about the same number of people, but when I turned on that road, I was very pleasantly surprised. The entire front parking lot was full. And Miss Angela, that group that hosted youth from multiple states.
4 states.
Came to Ruston, Louisiana to show pigs at the expo center, and it was awesome. The crowd was amazing.
I was blown away by how they made the inside of that expo center look with those new pins, and I mean, it looked like a sure enough.
Yeah, can we show that?
Yeah, is there a way to
Can
pull
we
it
show
up?
that? I would like to say this, the North Louisiana Youth Livestock Support Council, they are an asset. Even though I'm a part of it, I'll have to share with that. I mean, I do help with that.
We'll try to share it next month.
Okay, they have purchased the show ring. That was a $15,000 asset that the North Louisiana Youth Livestock Support Council purchased, and they leave it at the expo. And so that is just an addition. They're trying to have more of these. Actually, we have a monopoly and we've been blessed with rodeos and barrel races and different things as that. But the new upcoming thing, which has been around since I was a little girl, but it seems like it's coming back as the livestock show. So we have an opportunity to really grow in that field.
I'd like to commend the coordinators team up here on the job they do, very professional. And the department, as I go around with the department, and also the jury, working just new and working with you guys it's been a pleasure for me. When I first come up in the morning, I be up here a lot, and those officers out there, man, they always got a great attitude, and everybody's very accommodating and all. It's been a pleasure. I was wondering how we was gonna get past this all the tax and revenue. I thought that's gonna be a headache, but we got past that. And I just want to say it's been good. It's so good to work together and move this parish forward. And that's the bottom line. We finna grow big time, and I just want to commend you, Jeremy, and working with me and so we get things done.
Angela, I got a question. I know we came and toured, there was some talk about trying to get, I know I have some friends who pig shows in South Louisiana and they are into it,
Right.
6 digits.
Yes,
In these
yes.
pigs, like it's insane. I was like, y'all have all lost your
It's a
minds.
home to money.
And then they leave them, they get them for 3 months and they got to buy new ones every time. But well, I know there were some talks about doing like a new show barn because you got to have a different floor and all that. I know you are trying to get some grants or something like that.
Yes.
Have we gotten any way further on any of that kind of stuff?
Well, Mr. Courtney might can give a report on some
Yeah,
of
that was the Make a Difference funding that was available through the state, in the amount of $500,000, which would be dedicated to the expo. It was $1 million grant. The other 500 would be to the park. We haven't heard anything yet. We're expecting word any day on whether or not we have gotten that grant, so.
So I know that's huge, and it is, like I said, I have some really good friends that are into it, and they are into it a lot.
I think we got a significant grant from the CDP a few years ago too.
Yes, we did. Yeah, about a lot of new stalls.
Those new stalls and stuff.
Yeah, I think we actually did some
We really
RV
need to
upgrades.
add 20 a year to our budget, really.
20 new stalls
We
a year.
need 20
Keep
to
up.
be added, yes, to keep growing.
It's a huge economic driver for this parish, believe it or not. I mean, those people just don't stay out there. I mean, they come into town to shop, eat,
I
even though
only
they,
rented 2 RVs, I just want to share that with you, so that most of the rest of them were in town here staying, they were eating here at night. They came in on Friday, and so the economic impact of this was great. I mean, you go up the road and I could see the trucks in all the restaurants, and they were calling me, asking me where to stay, and I just have a list in a book, and I just go naming places to stay.
you didn't tell them to go eat at Log Cabin though.
Yes.
They come, on our calendar of events, rodeo, we have the Expo Center's calendars, we know when the rodeos are, because they come.
That's a conflict.
I had it before.
Okay, I think that's all the reports we have. The only thing I need to mention is they've set the Region 4 meeting, which for you new jurors, we belong to a region that's set up by the Police Jury Association. It's Region 4. I can't name all the parishes that are in it, but I think it's us, Natchitoches, Red River, DeSoto.
The whole northwest.
Yeah, the whole northwest part. But anyway, they have regional meetings every year. So and each year on a rotational basis, a parish will host it. So this year it's Natchitoches Parish is the host, and that'll be October 23rd, which is a Wednesday. Now, I'll have more information as we move forward. You might want to put that on your calendar if you're interested in going.
That's all they do.
No, sir. It's mainly just an afternoon.
I'm ready to buy a trailer.
Huh? No, the purpose of it is generally they'll have a speaker, but it's also to present resolutions that you want adopted by the region that'll be presented at the state meeting. So, and then a Sparta meeting is actually gonna meet here in Lincoln Parish, October 9th at 2 o'clock at the library.
Right.
That's all I have.
Okay, and so we have no public comment sheets turned in. So do I hear a motion that?
Order of business next
I know,
month.
I thought you were gonna change the venue.
No, yeah, we don't have to do that tonight. I mean, if,
No, okay.
if I get a stack of appeal forms this big, then I'll know, that we probably need to relocate.
I'm not gonna wish it.
Do we wanna say anything about the, trip to South Carolina, just to update the,
Go ahead.
the whole
Yeah,
group?
it's a good idea.
A few of us went to South Carolina, to York County, South Carolina, quick trip up there and viewed some, convenience sites. Who was it? Big Coach, Dan, myself, Dan, is that it, Courtney and Carrie, and, Carrie. Quick trip, saw 3 different convenience centers. We saw like one of the, I guess their newest and biggest and nicest one was the first one we went to, and it was a real engineering feat. I mean, it was a nice deal. And then we saw some of their older ones that were kind of more basic and stuff, and so everything was like real clean and kind of set down to where all you saw was like the container, and you just dropped your trash in there and it sucked it in and compacted it into this compactor, and then they had like access from below for your service trucks to take and swap the roll-offs off. But they have a little kind of guard shack right there, and it was gated, and so they had kind of tucked in the woods a little bit, signs out front and gated. You drove in and you couldn't really see all the dumpsters and stuff from the road. Had a nice little entrance. Some of them are landscaped, and you pulled in there and they had all these signs that told you could put white goods here, like white appliances here, like washers and dryers and stoves and refrigerators here. Had a spot for furniture and bulky goods here, and that went in a roll off, and like a used tire spot here, and a little deal for paint and batteries and lead, and had a guy or 2 guys there that were kind of directing the show there, so everybody put what they were supposed to do where they were supposed to do it. Had one whole thing for just cardboard. So all these boxes that are filling up our dumpsters, empty boxes people are throwing in our dumpsters, right? This thing's compacts and things, and they put municipal trash here, and they're selling their cardboard for $280 a ton, right? Recyclable, and man, it was slick. What I liked about it was it was policed essentially. Solid waste employee there, at part-time help, kind of different shifts, and they opened it up fairly early to where people could go before work. And they closed it at like 7 in the evening, so you could go after work as well. And they had different days that they shut down each one of them to do some maintenance and stuff.
On a Saturday, they running at one facility 190 an hour through there. So it's 190 cars an hour going through. So it's not like you pull up and you gotta wait a whole long, 190 cars an hour going through a little circle is pretty good.
Just a little, every
So
one
it's
of them
set
was a
up
circle.
right.
You drive in and you dump your stuff and you drive on out. And then the access trucks, the service trucks were accessed it from below grade. The situation was shut down, so you weren't stopping the flow of traffic and stuff.
And they look real hard. They had to find a coach to run all this stuff.
It was a coach running that stuff, what, a high school football coach? Yeah, nice folks. They
didn't get along.
Yeah. They were real accommodating, and I think they've even sent us some engineered plans for some of them. So I think it's definitely something that we want to look at, our solid waste committee to look at.
Mr. Epps, you got something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. Who would I need to talk to if it is a fact that the volunteer fire station on Gar Road is getting ready to move to another location per se?
Fire chief, I would assume.
Yeah.
Chief Reynolds, Chief Kevin Reynolds.
Okay.
He's at the Vienna Fire Station. He will answer any fire department questions.
Well, if they were moving, I just wanted to find out what's going to be happening.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, we hadn't heard anything.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's why I was.
But Chief Kevin Reynolds at Vienna, I'll give you his phone number after this meeting.
All right.
The Vienna Fire Station, yes.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion we adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.